That's no moon. Hi everyone, I'm Mike Levin, SEO, and today I'm going to be combining two of my projects from GitHub. Lavinix, which is a um, virtual machine, tiny distribution of Linux that runs with a double click from your desktop of your Mac or PC or even another Linux desktop, with the Populate project, the one that I've been producing all these videos for, which is going to be a free and open source SEO tool and social tool for monitoring your performance and doing better and better with earned media and not having to pay for advertising. So I expect the later to be quite popular based on my prior history with HitTail and 360i Tiger, and the former one is actually quite popular, receiving about 20 downloads per day. And Lavinix is actually kind of getting a little bit old. It doesn't have that much ability to run with a double click anymore on a variety of desktops. So what I've done is I have remastered it in beta 3. It was up to beta 2.3 before, but now if I drag it out to the desktop here, I can demonstrate how I've made a version of it, which is running here with a double click as advertised on Yosemite. Okay, and this is TinyCore you're looking at. I can run TinyCore Linux in some of its various ways, but this is the way I plan on running it. Just watch how fast this boots. Bam, it's booted. And that's like a whole little server here to host your web applications. And so the point of Lavinix is that it works pretty much the same way on different operating systems. So here we are on Windows XP. I'll do the same thing in the future on Windows 7 and 8. And let's see, extract all, next, finish. And the same way is you just double-clicked an icon from the desktop. There you go. Here's the same thing running in Windows. And get rid of all this stuff in the background. It's a little bit distracting. And see how rock solid and stable that is? It has the problem in that it captures your mouse pointer, but you just have to press Control-Alt and you get your pointer back. And there were some issues. It's kind of the same thing here, Control-Alt. I had some issues where I really didn't like that before, and I went to some pretty considerable lengths to get this running in a text-only mode. It looks text-only, but it's not. It's really running in graphics mode, but I went to some great lengths to make it so that it didn't capture your pointer. I thought that was necessary for the kind of fairly new people to programming who might be jumping on board using Levinux and Populate as their way. And I decided that's not so necessary anymore. So I'm just going to X out of these two things. We don't really need them right now. I just wanted to demonstrate to you what I was about to update the GitHub repository with. So as you can see, this is Lavinix, and this is one way to get it, but you can get it this other way. Copy, and I'm going to go out here and I'm going to CD to the desktop. I'll make these both a little bit shorter so that you can see things appear if they appear. Right now I only have these two things here. That was for that demonstration, but oh well, I will keep them around. That's going to be what I update the repository with. So what I do is I use this window to I type pwd. I'm actually where I want to be, but if ever you needed to get there, you can just go to cd ~tab or ~de tab, and that's cd to your home desktop, which works pretty much on all Macs. On all Mac systems. So if I were to git clone that address I just copied from GitHub, oh, it already exists, yeah, because it's the same name. This is going to be the one that goes in to the new location. So I'm going to have to rename that new, and we'll try that once more. Here comes the old Lavinix project through GitHub. ls, okay, I can cd into Lavinix, ls-a to see all files. Now you can see that .git, that's the repository there. I'll move this up a little higher now that we saw where the icons appeared. Now I'm actually going to, oh, and I'll do a before and after. Let me do a git status. Only a little icon added by the Mac is out of whack here. Otherwise, the repository is very up-to-date and healthy. I'm going to delete three things here. I'll leave the README and the changelog. Whoops, I hit duplicate. 1, 2, 3. Command delete. Okay. Now if I do a git status, you'll see a whole bunch of stuff has been deleted, right? So I'm going to go into Levinux new. I'm going to grab these two things. I will copy them over here. And now we do a git status. And a whole bunch of new stuff has been added. So we want to git add Populate dot, oh yeah, that's interesting. That's populate.app. You can't see the .app extension there. But that's because that is a bundle. That is actually a directory that works like a program when you double click it. And so I'm adding everything in there. I think I can do it like this. And then I want to git add populate.vbs. Now I do a git status. And again, it's all that stuff that's been deleted and some new stuff added. Oh yeah, there it is, the green stuff. That's all the new stuff from what I just added. And whereas in the past I really went to great lengths to trim out all the extra stuff. You can see all this language key map stuff. I'm keeping the QEMU packages of the new Lavinix as intact as possible so that remastering this stuff is as clean as possible. So now that I've done that, I'll close this. I'll keep the repository one open. And now I'm going to cd into that. So cd /desktop ls cd Lavinix ls vim. First I'll look at the README. Okay. This isn't going to be in this shape for very long in GitHub, but I should update these things. None of this applies very much anymore. I'll be able to, refer to the old stuff and delete it. And so I'm going to do a D-Shift-G, delete everything to the bottom. And let's see, this is the README that I'm working on. So this is going to be under reconstruction. Make sure I didn't misspell anything. Center that a bit. And I'll work on the README later. Vim changelog. Changelog is a different matter. Here I can really tell what is going on, and in fact I want to use my macro which searches for I believe journal. Yeah, the macro is, oh, there it is, beginning journal. Okay. I'm going to get rid of these, get the journal right up to the top, use my macro, and say I am starting a pretty big revision or remastering of Lavinix. The current, what is that? The current status is merely the latest tiny core Linux combined with an old fork of QEMU called Q, fork of QEMU for the Mac called Q, and an old pre-compiled binary of QEMU for Windows. Stay tuned. I'll get back to where Lavinix was and combine it with my Populate project. Okay, so I've updated the README and the change log, and now git commit all and add a message, remastering Lavinix, currently broken. Tons of stuff done. Git status. Okay, just that DS store thing out of whack. We really don't need that. But this now is going to be a pretty major change in how it looks in here. So as you can see, this is a before, and I'll open another tab, bring us to that same location. So these two tabs are kind of identical. And now I will do a git push. Should be pretty big because everything's changed. Now we do a refresh. There you go. You can see Populate. The name of that interior folder is named Populate. And here you go. Remastering Lavinix currently broken. And here's the new README under reconstruction. So the rest of the day we'll be rushing through this, trying to get Lavinix back to where it was in terms of creating a full development environment, the hard drive partitioning stuff. That's probably the biggest deal there, because currently I'm using the .iso file that's distributed from the Tiny Core people. Oops. And when you go to downloads, I'm currently using this file here, the 15 megabyte one, which is the main one. I could go down to 9 megabytes, but I figured it's kind of nice to let people go into the graphic user interface of Tiny Core as well. And I think it may even speed up some of the repository fetches I need to do for Python and such, because a lot of the requirements are already there. A lot of these things will be pulling into shape over the next few videos. I know this is a bit obscure, but this is sort of like that working on the weird internal stuff in under the scenes, so that later it will sort of pull together into a wonderful creation that's useful for everyone. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Hope to talk to you soon, and don't forget to subscribe.